Good morning. Today we're focusing on posture. Let's find a seat. Let's just take a moment to settle ourselves. Let's do a quick body scan and check in. If you want to close your eyes, that's fine. Let's remember we're working between easy and hard. We're breathing. We're letting go of our to-do lists. We're focusing on our breath. We're feeling something in each movement. Take one more breath in. And exhale, release. Your eyes are closed. Slowly open your eyes. Let's come into seated mountain pose. Let's take a deep breath in. Inhale. Exhale, release. If you have shoulder issues, don't bring your arms up quite so high. One more breath in. And exhale. Move my mat back just a hair. From here, sitting up nice and tall. Let's slowly turn our head in one direction. And slowly bring it forward in the opposite direction. Bring your head forward. Turn it back to the opposite direction, or one direction. And then forward. And to the opposite direction. Relax those shoulders. Palms are out in front. Slowly tilt your head down just a bit, tucking the chin in slightly. Take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, slowly draw your head to a neutral position. And then tilt your chin up just a bit. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, bring your head to neutral. And then inhale. Tilt your chin down. Exhale. Inhale, bring your head to neutral. Inhale. Tilt your head up just a bit. Exhale. Basically, you're nodding your head yes and no. That's a positive affirmation. So, yes, we can do this. Let's begin. Let's come back to that mountain pose. Reach that right arm up. Or left arm, whatever arm you start with, it's fine. And the opposite arm. And back to the other arm. And back to that right arm. Inhaling and exhaling. First, we're lengthening. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, draw up, lengthen, exhale. Let's pause. Inhale, draw up. Exhale, pause. Keep doing that just a couple more times. Inhaling and exhaling. One arm and the other. Gradually making that lateral flexion movement just a little bit larger. And then meet with shoulders back and down, palms gently on your lap. And let's bring out those cactus arms. And inhale, open the chest a bit, shoulders come back, shoulder blades come closer together, almost like a mini cat-cow. Exhale, bring the forearms together. We're tilting forward just a tiny bit, like a mini cat-cow. Exhale, draw the forearms together. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Lower those arms. Take those shoulders. Inhale up. Exhale, roll back. Inhale, up. Exhale, roll them back. Inhale, up. Exhale, roll them back. Inhale, up. Exhale, roll them back. Pause. And let's go in the opposite direction or forward. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Noticing how those shoulders feel today. Just warming up those shoulders a bit. And then relax the shoulders back and down. Make sure you're sitting firmly in your chair. You're towards the edge of your chair, but you're not completely on the edge because we're going to do that spinal balance movement, which we've done before. I will send a link and you will see 7 poses to help with that posture. So let's extend one arm up and extend the opposite leg and exhale, bring it down. So let's bring up the right arm, opposite leg, and bring it down. Opposite arm, opposite leg, bring it down. Let's inhale, draw up, lengthen. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Remember to breathe. Spinal balance. That helps work some of those smaller muscles in our back. Those smaller muscles that help keep us upright. Let's do a couple more breaths. Switching, breathing, moving, switching arm and leg. And let's bring it all in. Let's roll the shoulders back and down. Take a deep breath in. Let's come to standing. So I'm going to hold on to my chair and slowly come to standing. Let's meet in mountain pose. Feet are hip width. Palms are forward. Slight bend in the knees. Hips are over ankles. Chin is parallel to the floor. Let's take a deep breath in, drawing the arms up. And let's meet the palms in the center. Exhale. Let's do a few more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let's warm up those legs a bit and widen our stance. Bend the knees, modify it as needed. We're working between easy and hard cactus arms. Inhale, like a 5-pointed star. Exhale, come down. Inhale. Exhale, bring those shoulder blades together. Inhale. Make sure you don't lock out those knees. Exhale. Inhale. If you have problems with the knees, then just don't come down so far. Inhale, creating length. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then let's slowly bring those arms down, straighten the legs. We'll move the feet in just a hair. And we're going to hold on to our ball and bring weight over to one side, then the other, warming up each leg. Also warming up our thoracic cavity, bringing the ball over to one side, then the other, switching weight from one leg, then the other, making the movement a little bit larger. Each time. And then let's slowly press into our feet. Toes are pointed forward. Bring the feet in just a little bit closer. Feet are a little bit wider than hip width. And then we're going to pick up our apple and put it in the basket. So let's go ahead and pick our apple off the top part of the tree. And then we'll twist slightly and put it in our basket. Being mindful of our knees, taking our time. Picking your apple from one side and putting it in the basket on the other. Pick your apple up, put it on the basket on the opposite side. So I'm gonna do this 4 or 5 times. And then we'll switch sides. So you pick up the apple from the opposite side and put it in the basket on that opposite side. So I'm picking up the apple on the right side, I'll put it in the basket on the left. And do that 4 or 5 times. Being mindful of your knees, keeping the knees slightly bent. And once you've done 4 or 5, let's meet in that mountain pose. So let's slowly bring those feet in. Take a deep breath. Hips are over knees, keeping the knees soft bend in the knees, palms are forward. Take a deep breath. Let's warm up the legs a little bit more in our flowing chair. So palms are facing forward. We're going to reach up or as far as our arms allow. Hands meet at the center. Exhale, come into chair. Inhale, press into the feet, lengthen. Exhale, come into chair. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And come, just stay standing. Take those shoulders down away from the ears, pressing the palms together, just strengthening the chest just a bit by pressing the palms together. Take a deep breath. Slowly release the hands. Maybe we'll do some hand circles in one direction. And then switch direction. We're going to prepare for forward fold or whatever you want to call it, downward dog. And you can do this again on the back of your chair. So you're going to come behind the back of your chair or find a wall space, whichever works for you. And we're going to hold on to that chair. And take a deep breath. Come on to the balls of your feet. Exhale. Weight shifts to the heels. Lift the toes. Spread those toes wide. Inhale. Come up on the balls of the feet. Exhale. Come back on the heels. Spread the toes wide. Inhale. Come up. Exhale. Come back on the heels. Spread the toes wide. Just let's step it out a little bit. And preparing for that forward fold before we head into forward fold. Sorry about that. So let's slowly walk our feet back and then hinge at the hip forward. Coming to the right position that works for our body. Keeping a bend in the knees. Feeling a nice stretch through that upper back, through the chest. Neck is soft. Relax the jaw. You may want to flubber your lips a bit like a horse. No one's here. No one can see if your husband's around. Maybe you want to practice in the privacy of a room where he can't hear you. Take a few breaths. And then look up at your chair. Slowly walk your feet forward. Pause a moment. Let that blood pressure return to normal. Then we're going to step your left foot back, and then adjusting your stance, and then bringing the knee a little closer to the chair, maybe keeping a bend in the knee. Trying to keep the knee in line with the ankle. The back leg is fairly straight. You might want to keep a soft bend in that back leg. Just getting a light stretch through that hip flexor. And take a deep breath. And this time we're gonna do something a little different. We're gonna straighten that front leg. Hips are squared again towards the back of your chair. That back leg forward. Remember, feet are hip width apart. And then we're just gonna hinge a little bit forward. Or you can take your hands to your thighs. Coming into pyramid pose. So toes are tracking forward. Slowly take a deep breath in. Come to standing. Bend that front leg again. Let's take a deep breath. Now remember I did the hip tucking your pelvis in. So we're gonna stay here just a moment. Let's tuck the pelvis in just a little bit, and then let's do that bubble butt. Tuck the pelvis in a bit, do the bubble butt. Now let's come to neutral and stay here for one more breath. Inhale, exhale, and bring that back leg forward. Step it out just a bit. Come to the back of the chair. We're stepping the opposite leg back, bending the front knee. Feet are hip width apart. Hips are squared behind the chair. Face is soft. A few more breaths. You should feel this in the opposite hip flexor, the leg that's back. You should feel a nice stretch. We're not doing a big stretch right now, because we're still at the beginning of the practice. And then let's slowly straighten that front leg. Just keep a soft bend in both knees. And then you may want to bunny hop that back foot forward slightly. Coming into pyramid, hips are squared forward. We hinge just a little bit, feeling a nice stretch through the leg that's forward. So that's my left leg. But whatever leg's forward, you should feel in the back of your calf, your hamstring, and you'll feel it also in the opposite leg. Okay, let's go ahead and come up, bend that front leg again. Let's tuck that pelvis in, and then we'll do the bubble butt, tuck the pelvis in, do the bubble butt, tuck the pelvis in, bubble butt, and then let's come to neutral and stay here for another breath or so. At any time, if you want to stay in a pose a little longer, that's fine. This is your practice. Remember to always move at your own pace. Let's slowly step that back foot forward. Let's step it out. And we'll step away from the chair a bit. Micro bend in the knee, come into mountain for a moment, check in. Then we're going to take the palms of our hands, we took a breath, to our lower back. And coming into camel, shoulders are relaxed back and down. You may be on the outer edges of your hips if your chest is really tight. This is really good to open up the chest, those muscles that are always forward are going to be stretched here. This is really good for your posture. If you want, you can tilt the chin and just tilt the chin up just a bit. Let's hold this one more breath. And release the hands from your lower back. Shake out your hands. From here, we're going to do one more movement. We practice our tree, and we can do this on the seat of the chair or on the wall. You may want to on the wall if you're feeling really tight in your hips. If you're feeling really tight this morning, practice this on the wall, or because this is what it'll look like. I'll show you too. both ways, but it looks like we're practice dolphin. So you take one hand and I just place a fist over the other and bend the knees, and then our forearms come to the chair. Well, that might be way too much for people. So, and then we're gonna walk our feet back. But for some of us who are really super tight, that's gonna be way, way, way too much, even with bent knees. So if you're feeling especially tight, I actually like to do this on the wall. So forearms come to the wall, then we slowly step our feet back. And then we hinge at the hip and let our upper body become soft. We feel a stretch right through here, side body, the upper back, the chest. Remember, nothing should ever hurt. Feet are hip width, micro bend in the knees. I really like this modification on the wall because I'm even too tight to do the dolphin on the chair. So let's press the palms into the wall. Slowly come up. And you're all set for a few push-ups. So let's bring the elbows in a bit. Just walk your feet slightly. We're only going to do 3 to 5. And we're in complete control. So shoulders and wrists are in alignment. Bring your upper body or nose close to the wall and then press away. Just do 4 or 5 at your own pace. Just trying to strengthen the upper body a bit. Don't worry, I'm not going to forget tree this time. So from here, press one arm into the wall, and then take your feet slightly over in the opposite direction. Your arm can follow. Just get a light stretch through that pec. Hold this for 2 to 3 breaths. And slowly take that arm that's extended and bring it forward. Press that arm into the wall. Wrists and shoulders are in alignment. Curling that one arm forward and then twist the toes, bring that arm out. And hold this for 2 to 3 breaths. Feeling the stretch in the pec. Just work that chest, we're stretching the pecs now. And bring that extended arm forward. And now it's time for our trees. So relax those shoulders. Let's take a deep breath in to ground ourselves. Inhale, exhale. You don't have to use your arms. Shoulders are relaxed, face is soft. And then if you're by a wall, you can take a hand to the wall or by the back of your chair. Take your hand to the chair, whatever works for you. I'm just going to use the wall. And then find your focal point. Bring one leg out, bring it in. Decide where you place that foot today. The only person you're competing with is yourself. Keep holding onto the wall. Hands can be wherever it's comfortable for you. You can experiment with letting go of the wall or the chair. Continue breathing. Slowly lower that leg down. Just gently kick each leg out. And then we'll do the other side. So you're going to hold on to your chair wall. We're going to do the opposite leg. Find your focal point. Extend that leg out. Bring it in. Choose where you place the foot. The foot can stay on the ground. The hand can stay on the chair or the wall. It's up to you. We're all working in our own yoga bubble. Breathe. And slowly lower that leg down. Just gently shake those legs out. And we're going to come to our chair. Sitting up nice and tall, come to the edge of your chair. Feet are out, hip width apart. To our shoulders. And we're going to lift that left knee, core is active, and lower it. And the opposite knee, and then lower it. And then this time we're going to lift that left knee and twist just a bit with the opposite elbow, and then lower it. Inhale, and exhale, opposite elbow to knee, and lower it. We're going to do 5 to 10, working at your own pace, making sure your core is active, breathing at your own, again, perfect pace, working between easy and hard. And once you've done 5 to 10, let's meet in mountain pose. Find the back of your chair. Hinging forward just a bit, coming to the edge of your seat for chest expansion. So we're opening up this and our front body after just working our core. And slowly release the back of your chair. If you have your strap, you don't need it. You can grab your strap. We're going to reach one arm up nice and tall. And then bend at the elbow. Take the opposite arm to that elbow and just give it a little stretch for a second. Pressing, sitting up nice and tall, pressing that head just slightly into that crook of that arm. So basically my ear is right close to that arm. Then I'm going to release back and try to find that strap behind me. For that cow face posture to open up the chest. Let's just hold this for a couple breaths. If this is uncomfortable at any time, release. We all have choices. Slowly release the bottom part of the strap. Extend the arm out. Let's take that left shoulder back a few times. And then we'll switch sides. Extend that opposite arm up straight, bend at the elbow. Reach for that opposite elbow with the opposite hand. Head is resting next to that arm. And then release. The arm holding the elbow. Try to find that strap. Again, you don't need to use a strap. You just put your hand on your hip or your lower back. Take a couple breaths. And release that lower part of the strap. And slowly bring that opposite arm down and take that opposite shoulder back a couple times. You have your strap, which you don't necessarily need. I just like to use it. Let's take it up. above our head or as far as our arms allow. And we'll slowly take it over to one side. And let's inhale together and slowly take it over to the opposite side. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, draw it up. Let's take the strap slightly behind us as far as our arms allow. You may need to widen your grasp on that strap. Take a deep breath in. Raise your arms forward. Slowly lower your arms. Let's take those shoulders back a couple times. For those of you who thought I forgot pigeon this time, I'm not going to forget pigeon this time. So keep your strap handy. If you want to use it for that hamstring stretch, feel free to do so. Taking on the ball of the foot, you don't need to. Some of us like to get that deeper stretch to the calf. We're only going to stay here for just a few breaths. So maybe lengthen through the spine, create length, and hinge for just a bit to get the stretch you need in that extended leg. And slowly come to an upright position. Point the toes away, and bring the toes closer to your shin. Point the toes away, bring the toes closer to your shin. Point the toes away, bring it closer to your shin, and then use that strap to bring that leg up. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do our favorite pigeon. So you can use the strap to help bring that leg up. And keep that strap handy. Coming into pigeon or modified pigeon, you know what to do. Sit up nice and tall. Flexing that leg that's bent. On top, we'll do both sides. It doesn't matter what side you start with. Let's hold here for a couple breaths. And reach behind that leg. Bring your knee to your chest just for a second, and then slowly lower that leg. Grab your strap if you want to. You don't need it. Place that strap on the ball of your foot. Sit up nice and tall, grasping the strap in both hands. So one hand is on has one side of the strap, the other hand has the other side of the strap. Sitting up nice and tall, take a deep breath. Hinge forward if you need a deeper stretch through that opposite leg. Just holding here for a few breaths. And slowly inhale, come up. Relax those shoulders back and down. Push the toes away and flex the foot towards your shin. Push the toes away, flex the foot. Push the toes away, flex the foot, and then bend that opposite leg. Use the strap to help bring that foot over the opposite knee, preparing for seated pigeon. Flexing the toes to protect the knee. Sitting up nice and tall. Hinging at the hip if you need a deeper stretch through that opposite side. Feel this. You probably feel this in the glute as well. Inhale, come up. Reach behind that opposite leg. Bring your knee to your chest. Slowly lower that leg down. Press your palms onto your lap. Take a deep breath in. Use your arms if you want. Exhale. Inhale. Palms meet. Exhale. Hands come to your palm. We're going to hinge forward at the hip a bit. Come into airplane, palms facing down, shoulder blades come together. Hold this for 2 to 3 breaths. Strengthening the back. And inhale, hands come to your lap. Roll the shoulders back and down. Widen your legs a bit. Let's do a bigger cat-cow now. We usually do cat-cow at the beginning, but since we're warmed up, we can do a bigger cat-cow now. We can do a mini at the beginning, but let's see what it feels like to do a cat-cow towards the end. So we're hinging at the hip a bit. Tuck the navel, bring the navel in, tuck your chin in a bit. Come into cat. Take a deep breath in, straighten the back, lifting the chest, rounding the back in the opposite direction. Come into cow. Exhale, navel to spine. Inhale, lifting chest, coming into cow. Do 2 to 3 more cat cows on your own. Once you've done those, press to an upright position. Meet in mountain pose. Check in. Bringing the thighs together. Left hand to outer right thigh. Opposite arm. I'm going to bring it forward like I'm going to hug myself and then open it up. Twisting towards that opposite side. And slowly bring everything in. Roll the shoulders back a couple times. Opposite hand, opposite outer thigh, just gently pressing. Other arm comes towards your shoulder, and then we're going to open it up and slowly twist. And just hold this for a couple breaths. Opening up the chest, creating more space between the ribs, and bring that arm forward. Roll the shoulders back and down. Come into mountain, check in. Take a deep breath in. Left hand, fingers pointing down. Slowly take right ear to right shoulder. Take opposite hand to your cheek, lift your head up. Active opposite hand, fingers pointing down. Opposite ear to opposite shoulder. So this hand is active. Inhale, use your hand to lift your cheek up. Roll the shoulders back. This time, opposite ear to opposite shoulders, right ear to right shoulder. Take a breath. Turn your chin down about a ½ inch. Look at the floor. Then take that right hand to the back of your head. Just to stretch out some different muscles in the back of your neck. So my hand's reaching behind my head and just ever so gently putting the weight of my hand, just give it a gentle stretch. Slowly move your hand from your head. Slowly lift your head to neutral position. You turn your chin to the opposite direction a bit. Tilt your head down. Take your arm up. Let's take your chin forward for a moment. I want to stretch the same Same way we did on the opposite side. I was giving you all extra stretch there. So let's go ahead and take that opposite ear to opposite shoulder. Tilt your chin down just a bit and to the back of your head. Slowly release your hand from the top of your head. Slowly lift your head and bring it to a neutral position. And let's go ahead and tilt the chin over to the opposite side a bit. We'll do the same thing just to make sure we're even, doing the same stretch on each side. So go ahead and, if you'd like, you can take your hand and just rest it on the top of your head. Turn our head slightly to the opposite direction, tilting the chin down just a little bit. Slowly take your hand off your head, roll the shoulders back. Palms come forward. Come into mountain pose. Face is soft. Thank you for joining me for this 40-minute practice. If you want to stay, feel free to do so. I'm gonna show you what spinal balance, cat-cow, and a few others look like on the floor. So if you have a few moments, you can just watch to see what I'm doing. If you still feel tight in those hip flexors, practice some of those moves with the strap that we practiced the week before. Doing what works for your body. You should be pretty warmed up at this point to do the stretches for a little bit longer, go a little bit deeper. So if I don't see you again till next week, thank you. If you're joining me on the floor, grab a couple blankets or one blanket and a couple pillows, and we'll meet down on the floor. Coming to the floor, you may want something under your knees because the floor is pretty hard if you don't have a yoga mat, or you could fold your yoga mat over. It's just as easy just to get a blanket and put it under your knees. So we're gonna do cat-cow first on hands and knees. So shoulders are over wrists, hips are over knees. And we're gonna draw the navel in, tucking the chin in just like we would on the chair. And then take a deep breath in, lift the chest, round the back, gaze is forward, exhale. Do a few cat-cows on your own, 3 to 5. And then we'll meet on all fours again. Tabletop position. And the spinal balance, we're extending. You could also do this on the wall, extending, which we've done before. Extend, reel like your right arm forward and the opposite leg comes back. So you just extend it. You can leave your toe on the ground, or for more work, go ahead and lift the toe. Pause, and then bring both your hand and your knee down. Extend the opposite arm, leave the toe on the ground, making sure those arms are active, that leg is active. Or you can lift the toe up, slowly bring it down. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Gently squeezing that. If your right arm's extended, the left glute is slightly squeezed. Bring it in. Extend the opposite arm, leave the toe on the ground. That's perfectly fine. Just activate that opposite leg. So just active, you just have an active leg. Leave the toe on the ground or extend it up and slowly bring it in. And I'm going to show you child's pose. So if you have another blanket or pillow, you can grab that and fold it up. So it's, you can have it just a few, like 4 to 5 inches, or if you want something bigger, that feels really nice. So you may want something really, really cushy. So grab that if you want. You don't need to use a bigger pillow. So we're going to come on our knees. We're going to sit back just a bit. If this hurts your quads, you can take, if you have two pillows, you can take one pillow and put it behind your knees, which I'm going to do. Sorry about that. You can put it behind your knees. Oh, that feels great. Because sometimes we just need a little support. So we bring that behind, tuck it into our knees. We sit back just a bit, and we take that pillow and we bring it into our belly area as close as we can, and we fold forward. You can make a pillow for it hurts to put your neck down like in this position. You can make two fists, rest your forehead on your fists, which are lying on your pillow. And then you can also just wiggle your head from one side and slowly move it to the opposite side. So just roll your head from one side to the other. I'm just stacking my fists on top of one another. And then take your hands to the floor, come up onto all fours. If that's too much for you, you don't have to do that. Regular child's pose on the floor looks something like this, extended child's pose. Or you can double up your fists, put them on the mat. That's another option for child's pose. Take your fists, stack your fists, take the pillow. Guys, you probably need a pillow or something behind those knees. And breathe. And then wiggle the head from side to side. And then take your palms, come up. I'm going to show you dolphin pose. So we did it on the wall, which is a nice pose. So with those same forearms in that, you could also press your arms in together like so. But I like to just make a triangle and cup my fists, press forearms. We're still in that bent over position. And then extend one toe, one leg out. You may want to be on a mat or something sticky so your feet do not slip. And then extend the other leg out. And then reach those hips up towards the sky. This is more for an experienced person in yoga, dolphin pose. This is also a really good stretch for those upper back muscles. And sometimes those upper back muscles are what's pulling on the neck. So that sore neck, maybe from your chest being tight, maybe from your upper back, your shoulders being tight. Slowly lower the knees. We're going to stay in this forearm position. And we're going to shift our weight forward. Wiggle the knees back just a bit. This is forearm plank. So pressing our weight into our forearms. If you want, you can try lifting the knees off the mat for just a second, and then lower one knee, and then lift that knee, and then lower the other knee. This is good for your core. And you can keep your knees certainly down as well. We all start off somewhere. And then take your palms flat on the mat, wiggle your knees in. And if the chair's nearby, use the chair to help get yourself up. And if you want some additional stretches, which I enjoy is also another stretch for the chest, is take a blanket or a couple pillows. So you're slightly elevated. You may want something for your head because we're gonna lay back on this position. So this is elevated for a thoracic cavity, and it's wide or a little thinner than our body, so that our chest they have an opportunity to open up. So we're here, and then we're just gonna slowly take our forearms to the ground. Oh, rest back. If this is too much for you, you can take a blanket out and just do one blanket. Forearms are up. So you just feel a nice stretch in the upper back. You need a little bit more. You can add another blanket or so towards that region. So palms are forward. Feel a nice stretch to the upper back. You may want to take your hands out a little further away from your body. And breathe. Stay here for a minute, couple minutes. It's a nice stretch. So my upper body's elevated. It just gives you a chance for your shoulders to relax, your upper body to stretch, elevating them slightly. You may need a little bit of a pillow or something for your head, because we don't want our head to come way back. Then a little bit of support for our head. And stay here for as long as you want. Hopefully these movements helped you out a bit. I will roll over to one side when you're done. If you want to do that wide leg straddle staff pose, you can do that again, but this time if you have your blankets handy, why don't you try using your blankets, or at least one blanket under your bottom. For you guys that are really tight, this feels really good. So just take your blanket and fold it, sitting up nice and tall. Feet are out for staff pose. And also, if you're really tight, guys, don't be afraid to put that, and girls, don't be afraid to put the blanket underneath your knees. Because sometimes we're just really tight, and just flex the toes. There's some knee support here, so blankets under my knees. I'm sitting on a blanket to elevate my hips a bit, to take some of that tightness out of the hamstrings. And then my hands are on either side of me. If you have blocks, I'm tenting my fingers, or on the side of me, so I'm sitting, creating that length through the body. If you have blocks, or one block or two blocks, it doesn't matter. If you have blocks, you can take your blocks and then slowly walk them forward. Even with elevated knees, this feels really good. So I have my books of blocks or Tupperware, whatever you have. I have support for my knees, support for my hips. And I'm hinging at the hip forward just a bit. And breathe. Nice straight back. I like to use the blocks or something. I mean, you could tent your hands or touch the floor. It's just easier, or you can take your hands to your thighs. That works well too. But to take it out of the lower back, to create that length in the lower back, to get a really good stretch in the hamstrings, I like to just, so I'm making sure I have my upper body nice and straight. I like to just use the blocks. And slowly walk your blocks of your hands back. Slowly bend one knee, then the other. Then bring your knees in, closer to you. Sit up nice and tall. Fold over your knees just a bit. Your knees are to your chest. Isn't that cool? And so it does help if you elevate the hips a bit. By putting something on your hips, it just takes a lot of that tightness. And then your body can relax into the pose when it's ready. But sometimes it just takes a little bit of time for our body to relax into a pose. And slowly extend one leg. Do something different. You have your pillow or blanket handy. Keep them right near you. Take it out to the side of the leg that's bent and just let it open up. Sit up nice and tall. If you have a block, you don't need your block. Your hands can be on the ground. Create that length. If you want to use a block, you can. See, my knee is bent and I just let it open. But go ahead and take that. So use the support of a blanket or a pillow, whichever you want to use, underneath that hip. So if this is my whatever leg, left leg, so you can take it right to that hip so you have support here. Look at, you're almost a butterfly. Just take it to your hip. And you can bring that foot in. Look at this. And then create that length through your spine. And then you can hinge over, turn slightly towards that leg that's extended. Use your blocks if you want. And slowly sit up nice and tall, and then you'll do the other side. So use your hand to lift up your knee, extend. And if you have knee issues, be very careful. You don't need to do this pose. If you want to try it, make sure there's support. So you just open up your knee just maybe a little bit. We'll do the other legs. We want to be even. So we're taking that blanket, we're propping it underneath that hip. And part of the underneath the knee, the thigh here, for support. The other leg's extended. So look at one butterfly. Isn't that cool? The other leg is extended out. Blankets underneath the thigh, the leg that's bent for support. And then we sit up nice and tall. Walk our hands forward. Walk the hands back. Take your hand to the outer thigh. Bring it in. Extend both legs. Elevate those feet. You want to try taking the feet up the wall. I'll show you how to do that. Or you can take them to a chair. I like to take a blanket right to the wall. Just so that I have some support here. So the blanket's right up to the wall. Then I take my bottom. This might be too much for you. Just take your feet to the chair, which we did in previous class. And so I take my hip right to the wall. And then I lay back on that blanket. Oh, and then I take one leg up to the wall. And then the other. Oh, and then palms face forward. And you can stay here for a few minutes, 5 minutes. If you have 5 minutes, a minute or two, we're elevating the legs above our heart, which is always good. And then to get down, just bend one leg, then the other. Push yourself away from the wall a bit with your feet. And then since you're here, you can, with the feet at a 90-degree, or you can do this even on your chair. Make sure there's something underneath a mat or something underneath your bottom if you're on a hardwood floor. And then you can cross one leg over the other, pigeon. Flexing the foot, the leg that's bent. And then reach behind that thigh, bring that knee to your chest. Slowly take that leg to the wall, switch legs. Flexing the foot like we've done before. Breathe. Reach, and then you can stay here for as long as you want. And reach behind that thigh. Bring that knee to chest. Left hand on one thigh, and then bring both hands behind the thighs. Bring both knees to your chest. And then extend one leg, and then the other. And bend the legs. Take your feet to the floor. You can stay here for final relaxation. Do your body scan. You can do your body scan with legs up the wall. Legs on a chair. And just breathe. When you're done, roll over to one side. Use that upper arm to help lift you up. Come into an easy seated posture, which could be just legs out front. You may want to cross your legs. You may cross your legs. You're probably thinking some of us can't cross their legs. So just come up whatever way is comfortable for you. Take a deep breath in. Bring your arms up. And I thank you for joining me. Have a good day.